Pike push-ups with bent knees? What is this guy doing? That can't be right. There's no way this is a real exercise. No one has ever actually said any of those things to me, but I can't help but think them myself anytime I look back on footage of me doing a bent knee pike push-up. It just doesn't look like it would actually do anything, but my own experience says otherwise. The exercise does what it does surprisingly well. Whereas standard pike push-ups are a complete movement, working the muscles through a full range of motion, bent knee pike push-ups are a specialty exercise. They focus entirely on the bottom position, and I believe they build that position better than any other variation. They also offer a unique muscle building stimulus for the upper chest, triceps, and shoulders, and I find them much less technical than the standard version. I initially started working with the movement after watching others perform the basic pike push-up. Many guys talk about the pike push-up as if it's this complete beginner exercise, too easy for anyone past their first week of training, and yet most guys I see attempting it aren't even close to doing a true pike push-up. The movement ends up resembling more of a standard push-up with slightly raised hips. This makes sense if you think about it. I'd wager 95% of people can't overhead press their body weight, and a true pike push-up gets pretty close to that. There's also hamstring flexibility to consider. It can be tough to maintain the pike position regardless of strength. My initial thought was that maybe the bent knee version would be a good stepping stone kind of exercise, something that could be used to bridge the gap between complete beginner and a full pike push-up. And while it can work for that, what I actually found was a unique movement that fixes a lot of the issues you often come across with pike push-ups, possibly the biggest one being accountability. It's really easy to cheat pike push-ups without even realizing you're doing it by shifting your weight back onto your feet or by increasing the distance between your hands and feet. While they don't completely negate the issue, I found bent knee pike push-ups make staying strict a lot easier. I do also find them overall less challenging than standard pike push-ups, especially if you intentionally keep some of your weight on your feet, which does make them a good entry exercise, but they also make it really easy to overload the bottom position, which means they have a lot of utility for someone who isn't a beginner too. All of this to say, rather than just a basic regression of the full pike push-up, I believe bent knee pike push-ups are a great standalone exercise, worth doing at any experience level. To perform the movement, start with your hands on the ground an inch or two wider than shoulder width apart. The wide grip is necessary so your knees have room to travel forward. Get into a push-up position with your feet roughly a foot apart from each other. The exact distance will depend on individual body shape, but having your feet slightly wider than half the distance between your hands seems to work best. For example, if your hands are 2 feet apart from each other, your feet might be a little over 1 foot apart from each other. From this push-up position, raise your butt into the air as high as you can and start walking your feet forward. Continue doing so until you start to notice your hips lowering down towards the ground. You'll want to stop just before that happens. This position should feel very stable. Unlike a standard legs straight, feet together pike push-up, which often feels kind of like a balancing act, this starting position should feel almost athletic, like you could maintain it even if someone tried to push you over. Once you're in the starting position, initiate the movement by shifting all of your weight onto your hands and lowering yourself down towards the ground. The goal is bringing your head as far in front of your hands as you can get it. Resist the temptation to lower your chin down towards your chest as a way to reduce the range of motion, and be sure to keep your hips high at all times. Continue shifting forward, slowly and under control until your forehead makes contact with the ground. The muscles should be under a lot of tension in this position. Pause for at least a full 1 to 2 seconds, then forcefully press back up to the top. You'll have no choice but to shift your weight back onto your feet as you make your way back up, but try your best to make sure that first push from the bottom is initiated by the muscles. It helps to think of the exercise as a kind of pendulum. Forward, backward, repeat. No side-to-side movement, no changing body shape. The angle of your knees and hips should stay the same throughout. Simply lower down to the bottom and press back up. The bent knee pike push-up is a great stretch overload movement for the upper chest, the front delts, and the triceps. When done correctly, you'll be handling very close to your entire body weight during the bottom third of the movement. Anything close to body weight for a mostly vertical press is likely to sit well within a reasonable hypertrophy rep range when done for basic straight sets. Combine it with a few other exercises in a circuit or a giant set, and you have yourself a highly potent exercise. A setup I found really great is neutral pull-ups, Tyson push-ups, bent knee pike push-ups, and decline diamond push-ups, done using a 6-2 ladder and going for rounds. That's 6 reps of each exercise, then 5, 4, 3, 2, and repeat. The neutral pull-ups are there mostly to act as rest between the pressing exercises, letting you get some free pulling volume while keeping the heart rate high for those added endurance gains. And the pressing is set up so each exercise is progressively easier than the last, letting you move through the entire thing without ever stopping. pull-upping. If you don't care about the endurance part, you can just skip the pull-ups and move through the 3 pressing exercises one after the other for max reps, take a couple minutes rest, and repeat 2 or 3 times through. This one makes for a complete pressing workout. The triceps, shoulders, and every inch of the chest hit from different angles. It's a clear example of the power of bodyweight calisthenics. I prefer doing something like this as the main part of a workout, but it can also work great as a burnout at the end of a push day. What's cool about the bent knee pike push-up is it almost has something like a partner assist feature built in, like having a training partner help you lift a weight, then controlling the negative part by yourself. Because you can shift your weight back onto your feet on the way up, the bent knee pike push-up functions in a similar way. It allows for a lot of high-quality volume in that stretched position, more than you could usually get on your own with a typical pressing exercise. It's likely to get you pretty sore if you haven't tried it before. This method works great with a kind of high-intensity, old-school bodybuilding setup. Think 1 set to failure. Go for max reps, staying as strict as you can, trying to actually press out of the bottom rather than just shifting your weight. And once you've exhausted every bit of strength you have for the actual press, start focusing entirely on the negative part, moving back to the top position by shifting your weight onto your feet, and keep going. You might think to elevate your hands as a way to increase the range of motion and emphasize that stretch even more, but I'm honestly not a huge fan of doing that with this exercise. It almost becomes too much, and the balance becomes too difficult. Most likely you'll end up compensating by shifting more of your weight back onto your feet, or keeping your head more in line with your hands rather than out in front of them, just to keep yourself from falling over. I believe going for volume or adding weight are superior options. The range of motion is enough as is. Not everything needs to be extreme range of motion. The bent knee pike push-up is very good at targeting a specific weakness. Everyone's different, but one of the most common sticking points for an overhead press is somewhere around forehead level. You get that nice burst of power off the chest, then the bar starts to slow down right as it reaches the forehead. While there isn't one-to-one carryover because the angle you press from is a bit different, something like an incline press overhead press hybrid, I found the bent knee pike push-up can really target that specific weak point. I haven't done much barbell overhead pressing myself recently, but I do like deficit pike push-ups on parallettes, a variation that is more or less completely straight up and down like a barbell overhead press is. And since working with the bent knee pike push-up, I found I'm much stronger through the full range of motion. Whereas before I'd reach a sticking point after moving a couple inches and slow down, now it's like I'd hit that point and gain a second wind. It's pretty cool. And that's really all there is to say about this one. I think bent knee pike push-ups are great, and I hope you'll give them a try. If you like pike push-ups and calisthenics, consider checking out my book Sandbag Hypertrophy on Amazon. Alongside heavy sandbags, it features calisthenics circuits as a way to build strength, muscle, and endurance all at the same time in very little time. Circuits are incredibly difficult, but anyone who's tried them will tell you for some reason they just hook you. I've been using calisthenics circuits for years, and I still can't get enough of them. They've done a lot for me. If you're interested, I'll have a link to the book in the description, as well as links to a couple videos going over calisthenics circuits in case you want to know more. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.